Well, good evening, Internets. It's me, DP Knudten, with another edition of BOOKWARD BOUND, my 301-day journey from I should really do this to done. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about creating a brand new book for release in early 2021 that I would write every single night during consecutive daily live streams for a total of 301 days. That's just insane. Yeah, well, that's the unfortunately unsound, insane idea I came up with and started doing on March 5th of 2020, right after I got back from social media marketing world. I was inspired by so many different things, but one of them, which I actually write about in the book, was a golf pro down in Sydney, Australia, who did 191 daily live streams of himself preparing to try to qualify for the Australian Open. Crazy story, right? Well, I saw that and I started thinking about that and the fact I needed to write a new book. Thank you, Melanie Diesel, for raising the bar on that and making me feel a little bit jealous about her brand new book. So I decided to write a new one, and I knew what it was going to be about. It's been in my head for at least 10, 15 years. Now it was time to actually get it down on paper. And so that's what I'm doing every single night for 301 consecutive days. Yeah, that's kind of, bat crap crazy if you ask me, but it's been working out okay because your peer pressure has kept me coming down here working on the book, whether I wanted to or not. And today is no exception. So yesterday was the 10th. Today is November 11th. I'm just doing a little bit of date calculation here. So yesterday was 249 consecutive days, and with 52 left to go, that means today is episode 250 with a total of 51 days left to go before December 31st of 2020. Why? I have to have the book done by then, because the very next day I'm uploading it to Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing platform for where I will be self-publishing it. What's the book called? Well, you already saw the cover, or at least an early draft of the cover art. There it is, Nonfiction Brand, Discover, Craft, and Communicate the Completely True, Completely You brand you already are. And that's exactly what I'm working on. I'm working on that book. I did the cover first before I wrote anything in the book, because I truly believe that old saying, you got to see it to be it. Well, I got to see it so I know I can be it, as in the author of an actual book. So that's what the cover looks like. What do the guts look like? That's a very good question. And I can show you right now by going over to Scrivener right here. This is the application I'm using to write the book. And in the main window here, you can see the place where you do the majority of the writing. And then over here on the side pane, you can see all the sections or chapters, whatever you want to call them. And I've been working my way through these, giving a green flag to the sections that are already done, ready to go. The blue ones still need to be tinkered with, maybe a little editing, a little proofreading, a little bit of, did I really want to write it like that? Yeah, so everything needs to be gone through again totally, but the blue flags need a little bit more attention. And then finally, the yellow flags are the, oh man, you got a lot of work to do in here sections. And frankly, I think I might lose some of these because they're implied, but we shall see. Last night, I was working on a section about Leah, not Leah Bach, but Leah Rowe. I've got two Leahs in this book, so that's going to confuse me down the road. I guarantee you that. And I think I'm done with it, but maybe not, because what I wanted to do, couldn't read enough about it. This is her talking about her career path. Dropping a CPA to become a CEO. Dropping or ignoring? Yeah. Okay, I was finishing up with the moral of the story. Just because you started down one road for all the right reasons doesn't mean it's the only road you'll travel for your entire life. Whenever life gives you a challenge, take a look at the other side of that coin, because it quite likely says opportunity. Oh, comma, and if anyone ever asks you about taking on something you know nothing about, comma, say yes. You never know. You'll never know. You never know where you might end up, but it's bound to be interesting. You never know where you might end up, but it's bound to be interesting. Yeah, that's good. I'm digging that. Is this section long enough? At 987 words, figure two, so just under 100, 250 words a page. With the photo, that'll be 4 pages and change, maybe 4.5 pages. That's pretty good. So I'm feeling okay about that. This section up here, personal branding in real life. Should be personal. Yeah, let's call it that. Fiction. Yeah, so I'm doing a little bit of cleanup here. I've selected each person, selected each for a reason that will become readily apparent as you read their story. But I've also taken the liberty of sharing my personal takeaway in the form of what I call the nonfiction moral. Well, not the only takeaway you're likely to find, and your mileage may vary. You'll find this feature along with reference to the nonfiction brand episodes they appeared in at the end of each section. I hope you'll find all of them interesting, and want to learn more about and hear more from each guest by checking out their specific episodes. Because there's no better narrator of someone's completely true story than the person themselves. All right, that's cool. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Do I move Sarah down there? There. Sarah, I think I need to move down to the other section. So let's just go ahead and do that. Okay, girl, boy, girl, girl, boy. And I'm just going to roughly girl, boy these things. Girl, boy, girl, boy. Bring Bea up. Word Bea. Tina Sanchez. Go. Girl, boy, girl. Boy, boy, girl. Let's bring Kate up. Girl, girl, boy, girl. Boy and girl, boy. I may reorder these, but at least getting the girl, boy things settled helps. Yeah, I'll keep him up here. A penchant for plaid. Right. Justin Baker. Talking about strategic authenticity, yeah. That's cool. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Cover. I'm just looking at word count here. Some of these sections might be a little bit light, but this one's pretty long. So. All right. I think I need to assess this. So to assess this, I need to compile the book from Scrivener into a Word document that is formatted for 6 by 9 inch book. 6 by 9 inches is the size of a kind of a slightly oversized paperback book, like my first book. Good size. This is 214 pages. I want this book to be at least 250 pages. I think it might be a little bit more than that, but I need to find out if it is. And in Scrivener, the way to do that is to compile it. So I'm going to compile the book into a Word doc. Where is it? Compile down here. And then it'll show me that I am, in fact, compiling it as a paperback, a 6 by 9 inch paperback. And I've already got the basic formatting input. So I just hit compile. And it is going to work its way through the entire book. Now it's going to ask me where I want to store this. And I want it to be on the desktop. Fiction brand, compile. And the compile date is, today is the 11th. And this is going to take some time because it has to grind its way through the entire book. And by time, I mean it could take 10 minutes or so. So I'm not going to waste your time other than to say that what I'm going to be doing with that compiled book is then look at any gaps or pages that are missing or formatting that is weird, photos that are too big. I'm not going to do the final formatting yet, but I just need to get a ballpark on whether I'm getting close enough to the entire length of my book. So I know when to kind of shut it down, because if I wanted to, I could keep going and add a few more people in that have done the Nonfiction Brand podcast. Strategically, that makes sense because everybody loves to be written about in a book. And if I reach out to these people and say, hey, I wrote about you, here's a proof of the book, can I get a blurb? Most of them, I would say 90+% are going to say, sure, I'd love to. Since you were so generous in writing about me, I'll certainly write a blurb for the book. The other thing is it could expose the book to their networks if they're happy with the way they turned out in the book, they may share it with their networks, which, that's a pretty smart strategy as well. I'm not doing it for that reason, but that is a side benefit. However, I don't want this book to be too long, because the economics of doing a paperback book via Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing platform is you don't pay anything to get them the files. They'll have your PDFs on record, and frankly, they won't print any of your books until someone orders them. And it could be yourself that orders them, but they print on demand, right? So those files sit up there. It costs me nothing to have them up there. It costs them nothing to host them, but they get a cut of every book they print. Right now, the length of this book, 216 pages, I think, all told, with cover and everything else, costs me somewhere around $3.50 a copy. With shipping per book, it comes out to about $5 per book. And I can order these in bulk. So the shipping cost actually comes down if you order 50, they put them in a box. It works out. But it comes out, I figure $5 per book. I price them at $20.99. Why? Because I do speaking quite a bit. And when I go to speaking events, I bring books. And people typically will have a $20 bill on them. I'm not making change. Or they'll whip out a credit card, and I'll do it via Square or even Venmo now. And they can get the book. And the economics of the book is the more pages they are, the more expensive the book is. So if I want to keep the cost of the book around $3.50, I don't want to go to 350 pages. That's what I'm trying to say. So 270 pages, something like that, it'll probably be about $375 a book, which with shipping would put it right around $5 per book. You got to think about those economics, and you also have to think about where you're selling it, because let's face it, if I were at a speaking event and had to make change, that'd be a big pain in my butt. I don't want that big pain in my butt, so I'm going to keep it simple. Hope people have credit cards or a $20 bill. And believe me, I've gotten both. Some people walk up, throw me a 20, grab a book, ask me to sign it, which is very cool. And we're done, So anyway, the book is still compiling. That's going to take a while. So I'm just going to sign off for tonight, because, again, this is the boring part of working on the book, not the more interesting part. Plus, I fulfilled my daily duty, which is to come down here and work on the book in front of you. I've done it. Cool. You checked in. Great. Kept me honest. Now it's time to move on. I'm DP Knudten for the Nonfiction Brand podcast, and I would love for you to check out episodes of it. Any place you get podcasts, just search Nonfiction Brand, and you'll see my smiling face in black and white and the words Nonfiction Brand in a black box. And you'll know you're talking, or you're getting the correct podcast, because that's the cover art for the podcast. And I will see you tomorrow. But until then, theme music, take us on out. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.